the unheard of third stream in a row, you know? We've had first stream, we've had second stream, but now we have the even more elusive third stream. Truly the most unexpected thing of 2025. Anyway, let me quickly fix that, and there we go. All right, we should be good to go, I think. All right. Anyway, what are we doing today? Oh yeah, I was going to actually get started on some of the stuff I was talking about yesterday with the what was it called? Rebuilds. Yeah. So doing a bit more of all of that work, you know. So getting started on some of these projects, but probably the first thing I need to do is probably, I guess I could just make them stay. I guess I didn't think of that. I was like, oh, I could drag them out somewhere, but it's probably easier just to leave them in their enclosure. So we'll do that with the Dinosaurs too, I guess. Quickly just drop them in and have them sit, and then go from there. Because I think the first area I want to start on is probably this. So just kind of, I was gonna say, you know, like, oh, well, make it look nicer. Realistically, what I mean is I'm going to start tearing stuff down, and we'll go from there. But anyway, let's see. Fix that. Okay. There we go. All right, perfect. All right. Wow, where do I want to start this? Everything's, there's so much I'm changing. It's kind of silly if I'm honest, but you know what? We go for it. I'm trying to think here. I kind of just need to rip a whole bunch of stuff out first, and then go from there. So, I guess we can start by removing some of this. I do have the Silk Touch. Okay. I'm gonna use that on the glass panes here, because, you know, trying to save any resources I can is always good. Although, I will say, it is not my favorite thing to do, because the glass breaking noise is not fun. Also, there should be a tool that just kind of, like, breaks it quicker. Maybe there is, and I just don't know, because usually I don't bother to collect glass panes, because usually I would have plenty of glass, but I do not, because I haven't been collecting sand like I should. Containing the dinos first. Yes, I just did that by, very simply, making them sit. So they should not move, and I can keep them there now. But let's see. Alright. Should grab it. Just in case. Just in case I should grab all that stuff. The problem is, since it's all raised above water, it is annoying to have to keep jumping up and down and up and down and up and down. But, you know, that is the price I pay. Also, I'm remembering now, when I built this walkway, the amount of times I've redone all of this is annoying to think about. Only for me to just in the end be like, yeah, we're probably just gonna rip it out. But I guess that is kind of just how it goes sometimes. Just kind of like, well, ugh. You know. Or at least I guess with me, it's, we'll keep a build around until we don't. But, you know, that do be how it is. So we'll quickly just keep going. And, see how much we can get started on. Oh, wait. Just realized. Before I get too much farther, I should probably turn replay mod on. Get some, physical evidence of what we're doing. That isn't just the live stream, I guess. Oh, alright. So, I guess, give me 1 second. There we go. Hit start. Oh, I'm so professional. Alright. It's just kind of... Actually, it's probably easier if we start below it and just go from there. Just kind of doing like this. We'll leave the fence in place for right now. I guess I don't really need to, but I will, for the time being at least. And we'll just tear the walkway out. Oh, this walkway was very annoying to build. I'm getting flashbacks to this, which I think is also kind of why I'm okay getting rid of it. It was very annoying to build this, because things just didn't line up very well. And building weird diagonals does look cool, I won't deny that, but my goodness, does it make things complicated when you're trying to align it with other stuff and make viewing areas and all that, because now it's at a weird angle, and because it's at a weird angle as well, it's kind of hard to make it, like, the same width as, like, other fences and... not fences, other walkways, because you're like, oh, well, now they're... Well, to make it a diagonal, you basically have to add extra space onto the sides, and that gets complicated the wider you need a path to be, because suddenly things start getting more and more out of proportion, and then the more out of proportion they get, the more complicated things start to be. But yeah, what am I working on right now, or whose habitat am I working on? I'm not really working on any one particular habitat at the moment. I'm just kind of, you know, doing stuff, tearing things down. The thing I'm really good at, I might be okay at building, but I am really good at tearing things I've built down. It's a secret superpower of mine. But yeah, we're gonna start here because usually, at least with how I tend to do this kind of stuff, whenever I re-engage in a project, is usually tear out a fair bit of it and then go from there. Because then you've got a bit more open space with which to start. Granted, that's why I also make all these outlines, because if I have outlines, I am more likely to remember what the plan was. Let's get that. These are all resources I can obviously repurpose for something else. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll actually even just keep the same style of walkway. We'll just make it fit with everything a bit better. Who knows? Right, but we'll keep going. Hello from Chile. Cool. Right. So, yeah, I think my current plan is just to at least start with this and then go from here, because this walkway is kind of in the middle of everything I was planning, at least for the first phase. Because if we can get rid of this and we can build a new pathway, then I can start changing up where the Dimetrodon exhibit is, where the exhibit that's going over there is, and how all these things are going to work together. That's my hope, at least. There is, of course, the entirely possible chance that I get tired of doing this at some point in the middle of this stream, and then just decide I don't really want to tear down fences anymore, or build new ones, and then I leave it in the middle of construction. When am I doing a zoo again? No clue. If I was smart, I would probably say as soon as possible. But yeah, no, I don't really have like a this is when I'm doing a zoo timeline currently, because I don't know. I don't know if I want to do another zoo. And if I do, I'm not sure how I want to do it yet. Because, I don't know if I want to do it in survival or creative. And if I do it in survival, how do I want to do it? And I do creative, how do I want to do it? What mods do I use? All that kind of stuff. Lots of questions that I don't necessarily have the energy to figure out and answer just yet. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see for sure. You just watched the zoo tour. It's your favorite video of mine. Rewatched it like 10 times. Dang. I think I've seen that video once when I was putting it together. So I don't really watch a lot of my old stuff. because it's weird to watch videos that you've made. And the few times I have gone and looked at old videos of mine, usually if it's like I'm trying to figure out a build I did in the past, I turn the audio off because it's weird to hear me talking for some reason. Not when I'm like making the videos or editing them, but man, it's like as soon as I have to actually go and upload it, suddenly I'm like, ugh. 4 years ago is crazy. Is that how long it's been? Oh, that would make sense. It has been quite a while. Yeah, that was... Doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it... Yeah, it's been quite a while. It's been a while since I did a zoo series. For good reason. But, yeah, no, I sometimes it escapes me how much time has passed. Going to the US in December to see animals in Yellowstone. That's very cool. I have heard it is a beautiful location. I have never been there myself, though. Yellowstone, at least. I have been to the US. In fact, I currently live in the US. Yeah, I've never been to Yellowstone, but I have heard it is very, 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 very pretty. Ooh. Ow. Ooh, rain. Alright. Let's see. Bye-bye. There we go. Okay, we got a lot of resources now. Should I just tear down the fence too, real quick? I should bring the... I was gonna say I should bring the bed with me, but I don't think I really need to, because I'm gonna be up here again in like a minute to get all the resources put away and get the stuff I need out. So, I think instead... Yeah, we'll just rip the fence out real quick. I've got the Dimetrodon set to sit still. Same with the Dinosaurs, so they shouldn't roam too much. Or at all, hopefully. If they are roaming around right now, that would be concerning, because I'm going to lose them, and I'm going to have a very difficult time finding them again. That does kind of remind me. I was very excited that JWE3 added Dimetrodon. I thought that was very cool. However, those Dimetrodons require, like, more space than the sauropods did for me. And I made this big old exhibit with them, and I was very excited about it. And then they were, like, throwing a tantrum because they wanted a whole bunch of stuff that I couldn't easily supply. And I was like, why are these Dimetrodons harder to keep than, like, a Brachiosaur? It was a little annoying, but they were really cool. I like them. Dimetrodon's a cool little guy. Cool little dude. Alright. Forget I've got diagonal fences on. I have that mod available, but I almost never use it, and I don't know why. It's like one of those ones I often include in a mod pack, but I just never actually end up using diagonal fences for the most part, because I guess, weirdly enough in my head, it looks wrong in my builds. Like, it looks awesome, but then I put them in a build, and I'm like, this has fundamentally altered something about this build. But, I don't know. How you doing, Noel? Alright. Let's keep going. Man, I have disassembled this so much faster. It was so much quicker to take it all apart than it was to build. Oh man, I also forget that the river is actually like another like 10 blocks down, I think, in all of this. It extends a decent bit of the way, or a decent bit down underneath, but I have covered all of it up, so you wouldn't really know. Alright, we're almost done. And realistically, it's kind of good to get rid of these fences as well, because at least for the Adaphosaur, I wasn't really sure what to do with their fence anyway, because, again, like I was mentioning yesterday, one of the bigger problems with this wetlands area, because I do think out of all the themed areas I've done, it's one of the better ones. I know people were bringing up the, the Spinosaurus, Sarco area, Suchomimus area from the previous park I'd done, and I remember that one being well-themed. And I've had a couple of other areas where it's been pretty well-themed, but usually I do kind of struggle with, coming up with some sort of cool biome idea that kind of follows through with the whole thing. But this one's, I don't know, it's a cool little area. The only problem with it really is just, like, again, I built this first, so I did all this beginning of this biome work and all these things, and then, like, it just doesn't, like, mesh with every other build I did afterwards, or it didn't lead very well into the other builds. But we will hopefully start to fix that. A little loud. But hopefully we can get to fixing that. Yeah, because you can, like, kind of see over here, I was trying to figure out how to get the fence to the Adaphosaurs to actually work properly, and it was quite difficult. But we will hopefully fix that, and things will be good. Let's see. We've got almost a full inventory of stuff already. I feel like this will look pretty cool as a time lapse. Just the tearing down of things. I mean, I like time lapses. They are probably one of my things I've enjoyed doing more with this series. Is actually making time lapses of me building and whatnot. That being said, I feel like I'm starting to rely a little bit too much on doing time lapses of what I do, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, I think, at least. I don't know. Maybe I should have get some feedback from y'all at some point on time lapses in the videos, but we'll see. Like, should I do time? Well, actually, I think most people probably agree time lapses are good, but, like, should I cut down on how many time lapses are in each video? Should I do more time lapses? Who knows? But anyway, leave that there for right now. We'll fix all the rest of this up later. Oh, there we go. Feels kind of weird having all of this just kind of open now. It's been so long since I built all this. I swore, you know, maybe I didn't have it originally as a fence, but I remember, was it just the plan was to originally have this little divider be rocks? Maybe it was. Maybe it was originally. Maybe I did have it as rocks. I can't remember anymore, because that was quite a while ago I built this whole area. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it at least. So, do you think? Well, I'm trying to think here, actually. Let me see. I think one thing, or a couple of things we can do here, right? I think we've got a couple of things we might, or that might be worth doing with this whole area as we kind of work on it again. Because I am thinking, and I don't know, maybe you guys can chime in here on what you would prefer, or what you think would be cooler. But I am thinking that we, right, actually let me get to the, like, up here so I can actually show what I'm looking at in my head. But, right, so I am thinking the Adaphosaurs will move into this area, Metrodon can stay there, and then Postasuchus goes, like, somewhere over here into part of where the old Adaphosaur exhibit would be. I mean, I can keep the Adaphosaurs over here, but I do kind of feel like, you know, it might work better if the Adaphosaurus is, like, over there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling like that's a bit cooler to have them right over here. And then making this a bit more of, like, an open seating area. Because the other thing is, and especially the problem with the current Adaphosaur exhibit, really, is, at least for me, the real issue I have with it is it's too deep. It's too deep of an enclosure. As in, like, this is already, like, further up than the pathway was for them, really. But it's kind of a deep enclosure, and they just kind of sit in the back, and it's really hard to see them ever. I mean, the Dimetrodon exhibit has similar problems, but not as much, because it's not quite as... Most of the exhibit is not as far back as this one is. So I am thinking, if I redo this, or when I get to redoing this, bringing that rock wall up to like here. Oh, I should pause that. Forgot I can do that. But yeah, like bringing that up to like there, so that way it just pushes everything a little bit closer to the pathway. Perhaps I think that might not be a bad idea, but I'm not sure. Anyway, get back to tearing stuff down. So yeah, I forgot I can pause this, A, because it's been a while since I made a video, but B, it's also like, that's not been a feature I've had for most of the time I've used replay mod, because I had to play on older versions, and on older versions, you didn't have that feature. It was just like, all right, you've started recording, you have, like, the time-lapse will record the entire time you're there, and, you know, you don't really get a lot of freedom with it. But I do really appreciate that, I don't know, I guess with recent versions of it, the amount of freedom you get is really nice. Okay, so we've kind of torn that down. This may not be a popular choice, but I am actually gonna rip down some of the plants here because I want to be able to see a little bit better, and things like the sugarcane make it very difficult to see what's going on. But I have a decent amount of it, so I should be able to get it back pretty quick. Okay. Pause the recording there, and we'll hop back up, drop stuff off, sleep real quick, get some materials, and then we'll start working on the path itself. Which, I'm not overly sure what exactly I want to do. Because, on one hand, I wouldn't mind... Well, it's kind of like ooh, what am I doing? What is it I'm thinking? Do I have a fence? I do have a fence. Okay. And gates and walls, all that. Glass panes. And then spruce. We'll chuck all of that in there. And then we've got tough, which goes in this chest. And cobblestone. It is funny. I feel like this is kind of turning into like a behind the scenes kind of video of like, oh, here's how Caden makes the average dinos build for a video. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's cool. Maybe it isn't. Who knows? But let me. That's a bit better. Okay. So let's take a look back at what we're going to need and kind of what I'm feeling. The one thing I do want to avoid is kind of a problem I had in the last park we built, which is the path that is ultra straight and goes in one direction for like 150 blocks, because it's kind of dull when it does that. So I want to quickly just kind of come over this way, because like right now it doesn't do that, but it's also mostly because I have not like, I'm just gonna take a dirt block here and put that there. Okay, that's just because I haven't moved the pathways yet, because I'm gonna push all this out to this point, and that is mostly lined up with that. Actually, that might not be perfectly lined up with the... Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if that's perfectly lined up with what I was... Okay, wait, that's the middle. That comes to this point, which means that this would be the middle according to that. But that doesn't quite work, because realistically this is the new middle, which is that block. So I would need to... Well, I guess I have two options. Either I can move all of that, or I can just change, like move this over one block, and that is actually way easier to do than anything else. So we'll just kind of, I guess, get to this area real quick. Rip this down real fast, and we'll go from here. Three live streams in a row. Yep, 3 live streams in a row. It's pretty crazy. But I don't know, it's something to do, and I do kind of miss working on all this stuff. Okay, so we want to then take this and move it over one block. So then we need to rip this out as well. Okay. Making this the new center line block for the pathway. Grab that fence real quick. Okay. Do that, and then we can chop this down. And we'll probably rebuild a lot of this in various ways, shapes, and forms as we continue working on this, but right now we'll just tear it out. It's not too bad. I mean, to be fair, this little area over here by the actual base was, like, overall pretty easy to do. I wouldn't say any of this was, like, complicated work. It really wasn't. Which is kind of the thing, like, the wetlands area is complicated work. Pathways are not. And I guess thinking about it as well, like, realistically, what am I thinking? Yeah, no, I constantly rebuild all my pathways. Like, I have redone the pathways on my worlds so many times that it's kind of not, like, I guess complicated anymore. It's just like, oh, okay, I gotta move a path, You know, is what it is. You just gotta keep going with it. You want to quickly fix that angle. It's the one thing that does kind of break is this little wall here, but that's not terrible in all honesty. And then we can, like, do this. Wait. That's wrong, isn't it? Wait, how does... How do I do this? Wait a second, I've forgotten how I... No. That's right, that's right. No, not like... There we go. Then we gotta get rid of these. Okay, and then the slabs go there. Like this. Perfect. And then we need to edit this, realign it. Because these out real fast. Do this. Whoops. I don't really need that. Okay, there we go. That, and then we bring all these back over here. Right. And we can, like, whoops, all that again. And where is some dirt? Oh, I was gonna say, oh, I don't have a lot of dirt for this. Of course I don't, because this wasn't dirt. Okay, so then that would make that. Wait, no. Oh gosh, this is always the part that messes me up. Why do this again? Is it just that? No. It's too much. That's too much. Then that's... Oh, wait. 2, not 2. Oh, okay. There we go. It's like, I know I did some wrong math here somewhere. I just couldn't figure out where it was. Oh, this is why I usually don't record me building paths, because it's always me making really silly, simple mistakes like that. Alright. And then the angles I've built these at are also annoying. Okay. Come on. This one works. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. So then... There we go. I did it! Only took me a couple of tries, but we got her done. And we just break this, and bada bing, bada boom. To build that means we gotta do it like that. There we go. Okay. And staircase, and then slab, staircase, slab, and then staircase. All right. Boom. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, so now we need to go up and get some spruce wood, some spruce planks. Wow, I really don't have a lot. I guess that makes sense. I probably do have a lot, I'm realizing. They're just not here because they're probably over in the chests in the Pachyrhinosaur exhibit, because that is where I was working last time, so I've probably put all my resources into that location. At least that's what I expect I would have done, knowing me. Alright, so middle block, extend it all the way across. Oh wait, I should... You know what? For the sake of a little bit of continuity, we will destroy those real quick, and then I will hit the resume button, and then we can start the construction. Get things rolling again. All of stuff. It always feels weird live streaming me building, because I don't know, I'm not used to like really needing to talk while building, or like trying to explain why I do what I do. But I don't know, good practice. And who knows, maybe this format of trying to live stream my projects will actually force me to get progress done on them somewhat more regularly than I currently do. Okay. Perfect! That perfectly matches up over here. And... okay. Yeah, no, that works, that works, that works. I'm gonna probably mess with all that to get that correct, but we'll quickly take out the cobblestone then, and we will throw planks on the rest of this real fast, and it should be mostly good to go. Mostly good to go. Oh, whoops, that was an accident. Okay, and we'll swim back real quick and get ourselves the cobblestone. Hop up here. Quickly grab all of our planks and... Oops. Wow, I am messing this up hardcore. Alright. There we go. And just kind of keep on going like this. And bring it back along this way. Oh, whoops. There we go. Bit of a less interesting shape, but we'll have to figure out how we're going to work with all this, because I do want it to not be like I said, I don't want it to just be a bunch of straight lines going one direction that are really boring to look at. I'd like it to be a bit more interesting. I need to bring my bed with me. I keep forgetting that. How to do that hardcore Minecraft thing where you just always carry a bed with you. Because that is smart. Let's take it with us real quick. And keep this show rolling. Good bit of water. All right, I'll keep just moving along, getting at least the basics worked out. there just so it fills into my hand easily enough, and then come on. I can't place blocks over plants, the fossils plants at least. All right, we'll grab that as well. Okay. So, path now connects the really our work area over to the actual exhibits now. So we can also link this pathway up here, and that's what, 3 blocks. We can improve that. Why did I take out the pickaxe? That was like the last tool I should have put there. Okay. But what we can do is if we make it 4 blocks, whoops, that's not what I meant to do there. If we make it 4 blocks, what we can kind of do here is the classic, the true classic Caden way of curving a pathway, which is to do this little, was it this like 4-block curve, I guess? So, there we go. The classic. A true traditional, just unambiguous Caden classic. Alright, but that links us in here, and then if I take the silk one, the silk touch pickaxe out, we can remove this real quick. And that's not bad. I am trying to think here about the Dimetrodon exhibit and how I want to connect this in. I do like a planted barrier, like bring out the side here, wall, and then, or like little railing, and then block up with slab, grass, plants. I could do that. It would certainly integrate the whole exhibit a little bit better into the walkway. Or do I just go for a classic fence? I don't know. I will say that was kind of the other thing that was a bit iffy with the last iteration of this, is just the Dimetrodon is kind of big, and this pathway is not very high up. So it does kind of feel like it's a little low for where it should be, realistically. So I might need to change some of that, but we'll have to see. I am thinking, I think I was thinking of changing this as well. So, well, let's see. So yeah, this was meant to, well, okay, so that would mean on the map here, straight line all the way over here. I was gonna plan for this to just be like a little outset thing. But if I do make this the main route instead of it just going straight, it does still kind of do this curve over here. That could work. Let's see. I will say, this is the one park I think I've done a lot better of trying to avoid this exact issue. Because, I mean, you might look on the map and be like, oh, well, there's a couple of big straight lines, like here. And this one is a really big one, but it leads to kind of this 2 diverging areas. And over here, or really here, I mean, it's changing in elevation, same with here, a lot of elevation changes. So I don't want it to just be this long stretch of path that goes all the way to that curve, because that feels a little boring. So I think we should really try to figure out what we're doing. So I should pause the time lapse real fast, and let's just have a think real quick about how we could make this a little better. So like, I mean, part of me almost thought like, oh, we could bring back the little like a little Jurassic Park style gate or something over here. But the problem with that even is just that there's this. It would work better if like you were coming up to a staircase and at the top was like some cool imposing like archway or gate. But when you're coming down, it just doesn't look as cool. So I can't really do that. Indeed. Well, let's see. What's like the first thing I can do, at least? We can tear out this. And I guess I didn't even think of that. I know part of my problem was, oh, I don't want it to go just straight up here and over there. We don't even have to do that. We could curve it down here and then change some of this, I guess. Like there's stuff we could do with that. We could, I don't know. I think it is just kind of, I don't really want a sight line like straight from here where you can just see the same open area going all the way down there. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I could be crazy on that, but at least to me, that feels like something I should try to avoid. Because again, like, to bring up the example once more, like this, it's not just one straight through sightline, because the next staircase is over there, and it's actually a little hidden, and whatnot. So, yeah. Anyway, I was originally going to mention this. Yeah, just, I kind of want to keep the tree, but I need to shrink it a little bit so it fits in a little better. Which means I actually just need to remove the whole thing. I should go get some shears so we can get some of these leaves back, at the very least. And go from there. Huh. I feel like I've mentioned this every day this week, but it never ceases to amaze me that people will watch me just kind of mess around like this and just do whatever little things I'm doing. I very much appreciate that people, I don't know, enjoy watching it. Or, more realistically, like I say I do. I don't really watch live streams, but like I do with like longer videos or long form content, you put it on in the background so you can listen to it, but you don't really need to watch, which is honestly fair because I am moving at what some might describe as a glacial pace, which is how building really goes. You know, building is a very slow process, agonizingly slow sometimes, and you're just like, oh, how am I not farther along? It's been an hour and a half. But it is nice to this. It really is. It's just nice to do something creative. Just, I don't know, get those creative energies out, you know? Make something. Which I realize, you know, I think almost all my hobbies are basically revolving around that basic concept. Everything I kind of do just for recreation. Whoops, shaders reloaded. Most things I do for recreation basically just boil down to like this. It's me building things, creating things, designing things, and trying to do all that. Which, yeah, I don't know. It's very relaxing to me to make things. Like, I like making stuff. It's just nice. Nice to be able to take something and just go, what could I do with it? And then make a cool little thing out of it. Let's get this. Actually, I don't really have enough volcanic bricks, but I do have some dirt we can chuck down here, because we'll need the dirt down here anyway, to kind of give the underlying structure for stuff. So we can do that real quick. And then I don't want the Silk Touch pickaxe because I don't want to waste durability on that. I need to get more diamonds because we are very low on those, and a lot of my tools are also very low on resources. Or durability, that's what I'm thinking. So we definitely need more of both to keep things rolling along. There we go. We'll kind of tear all this out as well, just to give us a bit more of a blank slate, so we can design it a bit more to whatever the design calls for, whatever we need it to be. I guess that's probably something I should try to do. I know I was just saying, like, I don't like all these long, straight pathways, but we probably can mitigate that somewhat, even with just, like, stuff like this, by trying to introduce irregular shapes with, like, garden stuff. So, like, We've got this little planted area for trees and for a tree and some flowers and whatnot. So if I make this kind of an irregular shape, that also kind of lets me do all this and still kind of keep some visual interest alive. But, oh, leaves are decaying. Make it look a bit more like a bridge. I could do that. The problem, really, as I realized when I was originally doing this, is I kind of didn't raise it up enough. And I could. I mean, I know I could raise the pathway up. But that would require a lot more rebuilding, because raising this up means I have to raise that up, I have to raise that up, I have to raise the entire bug house, which is a lot of work. And the other option is to lower the ground, which would be the 4th time I've done that in this area, and I'm not really interested in lowering it again. But that is a good idea. I don't know. I think there are ways to make it work, and I think one of them will be how I integrate the fencing, or like the barriers for the exhibits on both sides. I think that will help with each. And who knows, maybe one idea to do is just literally well, it's difficult because I want that there, and I want that to kind of stand out as its own thing. But I did consider even just like in the middle here, in the middle of this stretch, putting a circular area with a covered roof, which realistically isn't terribly different from what we had here before, but it would kind of fit a little bit better. And then that could kind of be a thing, but then I need to move that back. But maybe that's a better idea. I mean, we could mock it up real quick with some cobblestone. Oh, I'm like out of inventory space, okay. So, like, well, but then that also creates issues there. It's a thing of, like, there are a lot of ways I could try to solve this, and most of them would work pretty well. It's more just, how do I pick the right one that solves the most problems? Does one big circular thing solve all the problems, or would I rather have a few more viewing areas? Don't forget to put feeders in exhibits. I don't have to worry about that because I turn dinosaur hunger off. And the simple reason for that is, and this, I'm almost certain the fossils team has absolutely fixed this already, but I have been playing with this mod long enough that I have a healthy skepticism about anything to do with feeders, because for a very long time feeders did not work very well. Dinosaurs wouldn't go to them, or if they did, they wouldn't eat very efficiently. They would just empty out really quick. Basically, I don't like using feeders because I usually find them to be unreliable and a bit tedious. Plus, like, I mean, I guess even really thinking about it, I don't even put, like, dinosaur hunger on if I'm or animal hunger on if I'm playing, like, a zoo game. Like, back when I played Planet Zoo, I never put animal hunger on because it added another level of management I wasn't interested in. Because for me, it was like, oh, I just kind of want to build. I just want to build a pretty zoo. I don't really want to do the whole management side of the park. Did the same, I think, with Planet Zoo, not Planet Zoo, Zoo Tycoon 2. Actually, I don't remember if you could even do that in Zoo Tycoon 2. Maybe you couldn't. I really don't remember anymore. It's been so long since I played that. That was a good game, though. Zoo Tycoon 2. I had the CD for it. Oh, that's part of why I don't play it anymore. I had the CD, and my computer, since I built a desktop, has not had a CD drive, so I can't actually get my copy installed, which is a shame because it was a lot of fun. That game was pretty good. All right, so we've got this. Right, again, it's the thing of don't know, because I really want to do a whole bunch of expansions out here. Really want to expand this whole area. Granted, I'm also realizing, because, and I mentioned this yesterday, and we'll actually go quickly take a look at this so I can explain better what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of redoing a lot of the bug house, so I can make it a little bit more, I don't know what the word exactly is. I was about to say pleasant, but it is actually quite a pleasant little build. I rather like it. It's definitely got more of that old Victorian reptile or greenhouse look. Or like early 1900s look. But I'm thinking, right? I'm going to take the Meganera out of here. I'm going to just make this some sort of like planted area to like, here's all of our plants. And then push this back, make it for 4 to 5 aquariums or paludarium. Is it a paludarium when it's above ground and water? I think it's a paludarium. Make it paludariums and aquariums in a little hallway thing type here. Move the Arthroplura over this direction, renovate the Tiktaalik as well, and then I was thinking we instead put Meganera over here, but we kind of change even this. But I think if I put Meganera over here, I might even shrink the size of it a little bit. Because the reason to put Meganera in an area like this, taller probably, maybe make a proper glass dome, finally. But the reason I was interested in doing that is, the one issue with this is you don't have a great view of the Meganera this part. And I know that sounds weird, but it's also because of how their AI works, where they just keep hiding up in the corners there. And you have to walk all around this long rectangle to see them. Whereas if I kind of take this, you can see a whole lot more from this one area. And if we kind of are clever over here with some decorations, they shouldn't hide here too much. They should be out and about over here. And the Meganera are really awesome, but I think we could better utilize a space like this if we push it out, especially for them. And Tiktaalik I want to change as well. I've been looking at some pictures of like koi ponds and what were they? Japanese giant salamander exhibits to get some ideas for how to do Tiktaalik, because Tiktaalik should be aquatic. Like, realistically, if I was to change this, I should remove the land. Like, there shouldn't be land really here. It should be like a waterway running all the way through, and that would be the exhibit. But, oh, whoops. Yeah, we'll see. Whatever I feel like doing. But yeah, thank you for bringing up the feeders thing. I do forget to mention that I don't have dinosaur hunger on sometimes, because, you know, I don't really think about it ever. But yeah, that would be concerning. You know, the bridge idea is not terrible. I wouldn't want to do the whole thing as a bridge. But thinking out loud here. One thing we might do. Well, actually, I say we might. One thing we're actually going to have to do with this rebuild is we're going to have to push the wetlands back. We have to shrink it a little bit. Particularly on this side, so the Adaphosaurs are not just in a swamp the entire way, and move it a little bit more this way, so that way there's just a bit more of it to actually see. But what that means we could do, actually, is if I kind of change the shape, so it's a waterway that's coming more like this, and then under here, and then back out this way. So really try to sculpt a river, ironically, back into this. We could take the middle portion of this out, and we could make it a little bit of a stone bridge. Oh, but then we have the problem of the... Oh, but that adds problems for the Dimetrodon, that adds problems for... How do we keep the exhibits separate? I don't know. I'm gonna have to workshop that idea a little bit to see if I can figure out how I can make that work. But that is a cool idea. Oh, remember all my plans from yesterday. I'm just realizing now, like, this is the stuff I always cut out, you know, from the videos. Because, you know, when it's a video, it'll be like, oh, guys, this is the project we're doing today. I've got hiccups now. Very irritating. But, you know, I'll be like, okay, guys, here's the project we're going to work on today. It's going to be this thing. And, you know, it'll be really, really cool. And then what you don't see is me staring blankly at the thing, realizing I don't actually know what the real plan is anymore. Because it sounded cool in my head, but now I have to figure out the logistics of actually building the thing, and then it's like, oh, I didn't really think through how that was supposed to work that way, or what the logistical challenges of this might be, and then I have to figure all that out. Which isn't really like a complaint of like, oh, I hate doing it. Like, it's fun. I really do enjoy that, surprisingly. I like having to problem solve with these builds. It's actually kind of nice to be like, oh, I want this, but how do I do this? How do I make this good? How do I make this look correct? Because at the same time, I would love to have this plaza thing here. But the problem with, I guess, this big of a plaza, at least, is then it makes it like, oh, I also was interested in maybe a larger plaza up here, but if I do a larger plaza up here, then these two things are very close to each other, and then I need to do a whole lot of terrain work to hide them. So that way they're not as, like, ooh, in front of, in your face. Which I could do with shrinking both, maybe. Except this one helps with the entrance to the Paleozoic house so well. So I guess cut back on that. Maybe even pull this in like 2 blocks. And then maybe we do the full circle viewing area, or maybe we just do a semicircle. We could do either, really, and it could work. Indeed. Did I see they updated the mod? Yes, if you're talking about the Post-Asuchus, actually, we've been playing for like an hour, so we'll sleep real quick, but then we can go take a look at the Post-Asuchus and see how he's doing. I do want to get some more. I really do want to get some more Post-Asuchuses, so we can have a couple in the enclosure instead of just one. Because, I don't know. I like to have multiple animals in my exhibits. I think the only time I've ever really done a single one has been, like, Spinosaurus occasionally. I'll only do one of. Sometimes T-Rex. But even then, I like to do a bunch of animals. I like to put a lot of animals in exhibits because I think it looks cool. And then I make my exhibit too small for how many animals I've... Oh, wow, he's gotten a lot bigger. Hey there, bub. Oh, no, no, no. Don't escape. Don't escape. Wow. Hey there, buddy. Very cool looking little guy. I say little. He is absolutely mahoosive, but I love him. You guys will have to give him a name, probably. I am so bad with that. I really am. I am very bad with naming dinosaurs. I'm bad with remembering to do a lot of the things I tried to do in this world. Naming dinosaurs especially, which is partially because it's like name tags. I know you can craft them now in like the newest versions of the game, but you can't craft them in this version. Maybe I should just get a mod that allows me to craft them, because I would love to be able to do that. Oh, I should figure out what we're doing over here. So, okay, we've got this little like... Maybe I don't do it as a... gecko? I could do that. Okay. This was more originally what I wanted to do for the Tiktaalics, is bringing them here. But maybe we don't really do much of an outside area for the Tiktaalics. Maybe we get rid of the outside area and just expand the indoor area for it? That could work. Yeah, maybe we just don't expand the Tiktaalik enclosure, at least out this direction. Maybe we leave this kind of where it already was. Okay, so if that stays there... Wait, do these line up? No, they don't. That's... Wait, so we just need to move there. But then that pushes everything in. So that doesn't really work. So then it would be like, move this up one. And that's also a lot of... Okay, okay. A regular shape could work. Alright, I'm gonna resume the time lapse, and we'll just kind of like... at least fill this in. And then... we'll dig up all this little bit in the middle. I would like to keep grass in here, to some degree at least, because I think it's nice. I also kind of think I want to change the front decorations at the for the building to something a bit more, I don't know, just something slightly different, maybe a bit more interesting than what it currently is, because it's not a very interesting look right now. Or at least, I guess, it's the problem with these skeletons is that they're like super dark, and what that means is basically they blend into everything. They stand out more against the sandstone, but they don't stand out against the brick or the leaves or the dirt. So it's like, they look cool, but they don't fit necessarily. Okay, wait, what did I do for this walking? Okay. Let's see. Actually, let's just even do like this. Let's just bring it back to a square-ish shape, and we can go from there to figure out, like, how to angle this whole thing out. You know, just kind of give ourselves, like I keep saying, a blank slate tour. Okay, we've got like a rectangle shape here, right? And then, realistically... Oh, wait, that's weird. I don't think I built some of this correct. Okay. So, we have two options. We can either bring it in, like, one more over here. Which, if we do that... If we did this, we could realistically alter both these curves. And if I'm already going to take care of this, that's fine, actually. Okay, so let's say we have this square now. And these two corners are now at the same rank. Or same angle. And these two corners are at the same. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's a perfect square now. So, let me just mine these up real fast. So I can... This is something I've usually been really bad with, actually, is just reclaiming blocks that I've used in builds, because I'll just, like, leave stone bricks and stuff everywhere, and it's like, why did I do that? I could have made use of it. Okay, we have this. We have the square. And then for this area, I mean, if we just do the 4 in every corner. Well, but then with the 4 style one, we're left with a 2-block center here, and that doesn't work very well for that. And we don't want to do like a just straight 3 across like that. So probably the best one to do is the 2-block by 2-block one, the 2 by 2, because that will leave 4 blocks in between, and that works a little bit better with the border that we use. These volcanic brick stairs. Okay, so we have this. Does kind of mess with this, but that's actually easy to fix because we can literally just shorten this curve out so we keep symmetry on both sides, which I would like. And then we got symmetry on both sides. Perfect. We can mess with this area a little. So let's just kind of map it out a bit and see what we get. Okay, so we'd have that. And then with that, we could... Okay, I don't want to do glass railing. Because if I do glass railing here, it's going to look a little weird. And it's already kind of a little weird. But I think if we use, like, the shrubbery we've been doing, in and around this area, that might not be awful. Yeah, and then, I'm just going to put it, like, right here. But we could do a nice custom tree right in the middle. Oh, except it's uneven. So I guess if we do a custom tree, it needs to be a bigger one. No, I don't think one custom tree is the choice. Instead of one, what we do is here. here and there. Okay, we do like 3 custom trees, maybe that style, and we put them like this. And then we, of course, you know, we'll like fill it in with flowers and whatnot, stuff like that. I think that should work okay. It'll make it a bit more interesting, but not like too cluttered. Right? I think so. I think that'll kind of work. It also, let me see. What options do we have here? All right, we'll pause it again. I keep forgetting to do that. Maybe a fountain with a ooh, a fountain. We could do a fountain. All right, let me resume it then, and let's take a look at let's like workshop what that would look like. So if it's a fountain, I guess we can take these. So it'd be kind of like this. Oh, okay, but then again, we run into that same problem of it has to be a 4 block thing, which doesn't leave a lot of actual fountain space. So I like the idea, and I think actually I would love to put a fountain in this area. I think a fountain is a really cool idea. I just don't think it works in this area necessarily. If it was an odd spaced one, that would work really well. But for an even space like this, it doesn't quite work. Alright, so I'll just kind of throw these flowers back in so I remember this is a planted area. I mean, I guess realistically, the other thing I could do is just get rid of this path and connect this up into this area, but I don't really want that. I want some sort of weird little roundabout thing, because I think that helps with just kind of making this a bit more of an interesting overall build. Okay, I'm gonna pause that. I'm going to run back to the storage room and sleep real quick. I'm gonna grab some stone bricks so we can start laying out the sides of the path we just built and getting that fixed up. Let's see, stone bricks are up here. Right. Oh, we don't really have a lot of stone bricks. Luckily, though, we have a lot of stone, which is also basically why... Oh, our helmet's about to break. I'm honestly just going to chuck that in the tool bin, because I would prefer not losing that. Oh, that's just random loot I've got. Okay. And we really shouldn't have to worry about mobs over here, for the most part. It should be mostly lit up. Also, sorry if I'm sorry if me going through your guys' suggestions is at all dismissive. I don't mean it to be. I'm just trying to get the cogs working in my brain on how we should do this. All right, so resume the recording, and we're going to lay down the stone bricks here. Just kind of get a base layer of them go together. I do, quite honestly, find it a little funny that I still do this. That I use these spruce planks with the volcanic rock, like... What would you call it? Like curb almost? Not curb even. I don't even know what I'd call it. I guess like framing block with stone brick underneath, and then what do you call it? Either I guess nowadays grass or smooth stone, like this. Like this has become the pathway I use. It is, and it's hilarious to me because I genuinely cannot remember when I started doing this path style, but I know it was a long time ago, and I have basically just used it ever since. I made one path, and I have always done it, which is hilarious to me, because, like, everything else I build in these worlds, I have iterated on and came up with new designs and new ideas and new versions of, and it's all really great. But man, when it comes to just... When it comes to pathways, I made one design and just went, yep, this is the only pathway I will ever need. Oh, sorry, just get my thoughts. Well, I appreciate all the thoughts you guys are giving. You guys are helping me through this. I love all the ideas. Quite honestly, you guys are one of the main sources of ideas. I often use for exhibit ideas. I mean, it's granted. And I need to be better about, like, oh, you know, this idea was suggested by this person in this comment, and this is really cool, so I decided to go do that. I should really do more of that in the videos. That would be good policy, I guess, I think. You know, I try to remember to give credit to everyone I borrow ideas from, but sometimes I fail, and I feel bad about it because I don't like taking credit for things that aren't mine. That was probably one of the things I worried about the most at college, was like, oh my gosh, wait, I don't remember where I got that idea. I don't know where that idea came from. That can't be an original idea of mine, so who did I take it from? And how do I cite them? Oh, I forget what. I was about to say, I forget how many resources these pathways take, and they're kind of annoying how expensive they are. And then I remember that no, my pathways are not expensive, because, you know, I have seen YouTubers who, like, when they are building stuff like this, I mean, they're using, like, you know, like mushroom blocks for part of a pathway, and the pathway is like 10 different blocks, and it's using all these complex things, and some of these blocks are like hard to get, like they're not easy to farm. And I just look at that and I go, oh, well, you know what, I may not always pick the easiest blocks for this stuff, but oh my goodness, wait, why did I not do this earlier? Because this is a better conversion for it. I just forget this stuff exists. Like, again, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, I can't believe Caden doesn't, like, do X, Y, or Z, right? But, like, oh, doesn't he know about elytras? Doesn't he know about, like, this block? Doesn't he know about, like, this thing? I don't know why I'm using a mocking voice. I really shouldn't. Because you guys are lovely, lovely, lovely. But, what am I looking at? Thinking of? I think people often forget I have played a majority of my time in Minecraft, and especially for video stuff, in, like, 1.7.10 and 1.12. Like, those are the two versions I have extensively played, and because of that, I don't always remember that new things have been added that would make what I'm doing easier. You know, it's kind of like... Where'd my other pickaxe go? Did I put it away? Or I find out I accidentally, like, chucked my pickaxe into a cactus or something like that, and get very sad that I did that. Back here. Oh, I'm back here. I have to fix this. Man, I forget that I didn't finish projects until I start doing stuff like this, and then I just suddenly realize, like, oh, you know, like, there's a lot of this that would really not have taken that long to fix, and because I didn't fix it, it is now a lot more inconvenient. But anyway, I feel like sometimes people forget, like, I'm kind of like a Minecraft boomer. I'm used to the old ways of doing things. And I'm not really a redstone guy either, because I know people before have been like, oh, if you need so much iron for your exhibits, why don't you just build an iron golem farm? And I'm like, you know, that's an idea. I don't know if I'll do it, but that's an idea. And then, oh, that's the other big one people will bring up is like, oh, if you need all these enchants, why don't you just build, like, a villager trading area? And the thing is, I think villager trading was a thing by 1.12, maybe by 1.7 as well. I don't really remember. I don't remember it being that common, though. Actually, no, I think in, like, the earlier versions of, like, 1.7, it wasn't for trades. You didn't do villager trading areas for trades. You did it for experience. They were experience farms because you could trade paper and you got experience for doing it. So you would just use them as kind of like a really, really cheap experience, XP farm. Instead of, you know, like, I don't know what people use nowadays. Enderman farms, I think, are like a big one I remember people do. I don't really remember. Again, it's not something I really mess with. But it is funny to me of, like, would a villager trading area be really helpful? Almost certainly, especially now that there's, like, paleontology villagers who will just sell you biofossils and stuff. And if I made a whole, like, trading area for that, that would probably be immensely helpful with me getting all these resources I would like. But I just never really think about it. because it's just not, like... Not that it's not a thing for me. It's just, like... It wasn't something that was... or I guess that's it. It wasn't a thing when I was learning Minecraft. When I was playing a lot more Minecraft than now. And especially when I was making a lot more content on Minecraft. So it's like, oh, I don't even think of these things because they're just not something I ever learned to think about. Not that I shouldn't try to learn to think. Oh, you know, I should do this because this solves my problem, and it's a lot simpler than my old archaic solution to it. Like, me still sometimes forgetting that enchanting nowadays does not take 30 levels when you do a level 30 enchant. Because that's how it used to work. I don't know how many people remember that, but, like, it used to work like that. And it was, fun, for sure. It was definitely fun that, you would grind up 30 levels, and then you would use it, and then you would get just some absolutely awful enchant on a pickaxe, and you would just be like, I am done with this, because that was stupid. And that's old now, though. Being said, it is cool that Minecraft still gets updates. And, you know, at the same time of, like, sometimes, you know, it's easy to make fun of something like Fossils and Archaeology for taking eons to update, but I can at least appreciate that they do still update the mod. You know, it's not often you have mods or things that are updated for years. I mean, what, the Fossils and Archaeology mod's been semi-consistently updated for, like, what, over... I don't know. I forget when the original version came out. I think the original mod came out, like, 13 years ago or something, and I think Revival's been out for maybe, if not 10 years, close to 10 years, I think. I could be completely wrong on that, but I think that's somewhat close to true. And that's awesome that they keep updating. I very much appreciate that, because it is still probably one of my favorite mods. And I very much enjoy playing and making these parks for you guys. Even though sometimes I get very burnt out on these parks. I do really enjoy building for you guys. It's I don't know. It's enjoyable having an audience to build things for, to design stuff for. Is that the... Oh yeah, it's like... Start that track. Okay. So we've got that now. All right. This side. How do I make this work? I'm not sure. Okay. So we pause and we go back to the drawing board to do. Slow progress, but we are making progress. That's all I'm really happy about right now. I am making progress. As quite often, I would have kind of stalled out by this point. But I again, realistically, like I mentioned, maybe there is something to me streaming every day. If I want to make content, at least, I need to stream every day. Because every day I stream, I actually get things done. And every time I get things done is another day where I get closer to actually releasing a video. You know, maybe it would help if I kind of shrunk these as well. That might not be a bad thing. That might actually not be a bad idea at all. Should also just... Right, this is one of those things I think I mentioned the other day, where, like... What is it? I'm trying to think what I was saying the other day. Oh, chipped. So, like, the mod that adds all the different textures for blocks. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. I like it, but... I kind of forgot, like... It's a cut stone column. Is that the one I use? I don't remember. I think it is. But I oddly enough have realized I do not vibe with the chipped mod as much as I did with Chisel. Chiseled was great, or Chisel mod was great because it was handy. You just had a little tool in your hand, and that's all you had to worry about. You just simply use that, and you could take care of all your blocks that way. And you could also just as quickly convert them back. Whereas, like, especially if you're trying to find ones with good connected textures, because then it was like, oh, okay, you just kind of mess around until you find the one you want, and once you found it, you can fix it. Whereas with chipped, it's like, I have to have all these tables, all in one location, and they're kind of annoying to bring with you, and they're expensive. And then it's kind of a pain to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I still think it's a cool mod, and I do like the textures it adds. I think they're really nice. But it is... I think it's more the thing of, it's a lot less convenient than Chisel mod was. Chisel was such a convenient mod to have. Whereas this feels much more, I don't know, a bit more clunky, I guess. But still good. Let me actually just see real quick. I think we've had more people watching this one than a lot of the other streams I've done. Granted, don't worry guys, I am aware that at least streaming at, for most people, what is like 8 p.m. is, it's not great. Like, you're not getting prime viewership late at night and whatnot. That being said, if I have the energy, I might stream Saturday as well. No guarantee I'll be able to stream tomorrow. And actually, I probably can't Friday because I have some stuff I have to do Friday, which I'm not really looking forward to, but you know, I can't really do much about it, so just gotta grin and bear it. But yeah, hopefully maybe Saturday I can do something a lot earlier in the day, so more people can tune in and enjoy me messing around trying to build stuff. All right, let's get that back up. Okay, and then we can actually, what we need to do first is this, even though I'm realizing now there's kind of not a point to do this because I'm almost certainly going to redo this. Oh, I am going to redo this. Oh, yeah. I should have just used dirt under there. I really should have. I didn't even think of it until now, in all honesty. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, wait, so 5. Okay. Where's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Yep. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think that one. I mean, it feels like a long pathway. I don't think it is. And especially once I actually get decorations in here, I think it won't look very, like, long anymore. Because that is one of the advantages of, like, doing these guardrails I always do. Because they add at least a little bit of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one. 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 Okay. There we go. And then we can maybe move the terrain around to bring that up closer to dirt. Whatever. Okay. We got a torch there, so build up. Let's do like this stuff. And then the topper's on. Oh, we're out of glass. Okay. We'll quickly, actually, you know what? We're not even going to run back to the base because I think I did put glass in there, but I wonder if I left some up here. That wouldn't surprise me. Oh wait, I emptied that one out. No glass, but there are stone bricks and stuff. Anything up here in these chests? No. Nope, nope, nope. That to open. That one. Nope. Nope. Okay. No glass over here. So we'll just pause the recording and then keep going. I gotta say, actually, from up here, that, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I think this is already looking a lot better. I really do. That unironically looks pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with this so far. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this? Oof. Ow. Shoulders. Sit better. I think that looks pretty good. Let's go grab the materials we need. Whew. We can go, oops. We can go in an hour and a half already. That's a lot longer than I was expecting. You love it? Sweet. Yeah, I think, like, the old walkway did look cool, but I think this just looks so much cleaner. It just looks more, I don't know. It looks a bit more put together and less, I haphazardly drew a line here and then kind of forgot I drew a line. Actually, a stack should be fine. We shouldn't be using more than a stack for right now. So let's quickly hop our way back down here. Zoom. And go from here. My muscle memory there, you can probably tell I do that a lot because, you know, constantly have to run back and forth between storage rooms, getting all of my stuff. Okay. This, I think I needed to edit how that's going to look. Okay. Well, even though I'm not sure about... Well, actually, it's the stone bricks I'm not sure about. But we are going to do this. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this goes like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. There we go. Yep. Okay. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I can actually just look at the opposite side. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. There we go, like that. And that lines up with this. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I managed to reach that. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Okay, and that actually lets us know where we can work with this. Perfect. And then we'll put the toppers on. And go from there. And then we can do this. Yeah, we're making some pretty good progress. Good processes lead to good progress. The building department. Whoops. Nope. We want to make sure that is a full block. I know there's like the full smooth stone blocks nowadays, but I don't like using them because I genuinely like the slab version because of the line that goes through it. Because it's not like a super complex texture, but it does add variance, and that is something I like. Ooh, that's an idea. Oh, do I do that? I don't think so. It might not look right. You know, that might not be something I do on, like, stream. Maybe I, like, go make some test versions of it at some point here this week and see if it works. But I am wondering, because again, to try and make it more interesting, putting, like, an arched cover over the top of this walk, or over part of the walkway, I guess. Because that could make it a bit more interesting. I don't know. I feel like that's a common phrase when building this. I mean, even just to myself, it's a common phrase. So, oh, I don't know how this looks. I'm not sure about this yet. All that kind of stuff. Okay. One thing I'm going to do is go grab a stick. And I'm going to take it, and I'm going to get the... what are they called? The Dinosaurs, and I'm going to drag them over to the other side of the walkway so we can get an idea for how they look. This is also where, you know, like, after I finish doing all this, I'm going to find out that Fossils is going to add a whole bunch more, like, Permian and Triassic animals in, like, the next update, and that I'm going to need to redo a bunch of the space again so I can fit them all. Actually, I mean, that would be the worst. I feel like because well, I know part of the original reason I made the walkway I did over here is because I wanted to avoid the modularity of the stuff I use. So it's not like, oh, module type A, module type B, module type C, all over the place. But the one advantage of that system, at least, the one really good thing about my modular building system with a lot of this is, at least, it is easy to get consistent results, and it is easy to add on. Like, are my modular path system where I try to make it like 5x5 kind of like cubes, is it the most interesting? Maybe not, but it does make it easy to add or remove sections for the most part, which I do really like. And it's clean looking. It just looks clean. I have an idea for the swamp area. Since you're making a swamp area, you could make a waterfall that goes through the swamp, put some mud and trees there, like a jungler and mangrove. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. I think, oh yeah, we do actually have a waterfall in the Dimetrodon area. You can't really see it super well because I put a copse of trees, like, right in front of it, and it's not a very big waterfall. I need to finish the terrain work over here. Yeah, I just never got around to finishing the terrain work there. Huh, really should. A tree would be cool. Yeah, I think I do want to avoid putting too many waterfalls in, because I have done exhibits where there are too many before. But I can definitely bring that waterfall up to the top of that hill very easily. And then I could do another waterfall over here. The problem with doing a waterfall, at least over on this side, is more just, where do I throw it? Because the problem I run into, at least, is I can't really throw it here, because if I throw it on this side of the hill, it goes over the top of my Compsognathus enclosure, and that doesn't work super well. And then if I put it over here, I have to figure out how it goes through this. Excuse me. I have to figure out how it goes through this exhibit. And that's kind of complicated. Ooh, let's take a look at the dinosaurs over here. They've gotten older. They look really cool. Oh, hello, Stegos. Hello. You're so colorful. I love Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus is awesome. Such a cool guy. Such a cool dude. Gotta be one of my favorites. Alright. It's weird. Okay. Whoops. Do not want to fall in there because... Oh, no, there is a door. There is a door to get out. Very ugly door, but a door nonetheless. Okay. So, from up here... I think we definitely can push this forward a little bit more so you can see a little bit further into this area. But yeah, if their exhibit basically is from this line here out to that fence, that is a decent amount of space for them. Enough that I think we could definitely throw in a couple more. And then we could also push the wetlands probably back to this line here. So shrink it down a little bit more. But then we could throw like some puddles, well, I say puddles, some like ponds or something around here. And that would look cool. Gives us the ability to throw in some trees. I'd need to be tactical with the trees though. Probably placing them more like around here and maybe closer to this back area here. And then trees like over in this area. That way it's like, oh, cool, trees, and not that viewing area is pointless because you can't see them because of the tree cover. And I know the wetlands is really, really cool, and I really, really love them, but I do definitely need to move it closer because currently, like, the current problem with them is just this. The closest the Dinosaurs will ever be to this area is over there. I mean, granted, most of the time you're probably going to be looking over at this side with the Dimetrodons because it's really cool. But it does mean this side, you need to... You have to wait, or you have to look a lot farther to find the animals. And they're not big. Like, the Dimetrodon is absolutely massive. But the Dinosaurs really aren't that big, so... I need some way for them to get closer to, like, where visitors are. At least I think that's not a bad idea. But we'll see. We'll see. Do kind of want to work on this then. It does really make me think, though. Like, originally, cool idea to make it this far out, but I think it's too much. So now it's just a bit too far in every direction, really. Why did I put this there? I think this was like an original thing. Okay. So we'll kind of tear this down real fast, and then we can kind of re-edit this a little bit. Let's see. Let's see, like that. So that's the middle point there. And then that would be this point here. That would kind of bring it along like this. And then we could kind of even build this in a little better by like doing like that even on this side. And then on this side even, what we could do, a little bit more unorthodox, but hear me out. We do like, actually not even by 2 blocks, 1 block here, drag it out a bit, and then we move it out another block, and we drag it out like this. And then that might be a bit too much. But we could even, yeah, it could even just be that, and then this becomes a rock wall. And we do kind of like this, I guess. So we could even kind of mess with the terrain a little bit more for the walkway there. And just kind of build like a little bit of a terraced set of planters, I guess, even. Kind of like over there, just these little terraced green areas. And then I could move the slope. Oh, I can't really move the slope of the path back too far. So to make it work, it would need to move this back a little bit. I'll have to see. I'm thinking about that though, and I kind of like it. Because yeah, then this can go into some rock work and like we'll push the hill back a little bit. Yeah, because then it also brings that design over there into the actual park, which could be nice. Kind of like how, and also into this area where we've done the same thing of like, oh, we're digging through all these hills. And there's certain areas where we've just had to put retaining walls instead of doing, you know, just normal things. Which I also kind of feel like I need to do with this. Like, I like that it's like this, but it doesn't fit as much. It would probably look nicer to just smooth this out with more of this style. And then we can leave part of this here, and like the entrance to the enclosure can work. We'll see. I think that's not a terrible idea at all. I'm quite happy with that thought. Okay. So from over here, how does this work then? If we're to walk all the way back over here, this general area, how does that look? So this comes in, slight curve, plaza, terrace, 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 rock work, a little bit of a retaining wall there, terrace. And then maybe we even just move the fence to like that, I guess? I don't know. Throw more trees around for sure. And then with all that, that'd be okay. I really do. Let me see on the map. So that would... I am realizing now, actually, this does make the Dinosaur exhibit now bigger than it was, which is kind of cool. Oh, actually making the Dinosaur exhibit big. It's this thing I keep realizing now. Where, right, I build big exhibit like this, because this is a similar amount of space to this. Yeah, basically, we're gonna have to... Yeah, I know I talked about it yesterday as a maybe, but no, I think we kind of have to now. We are gonna need to tear one of these exhibits out. Not tear it out. What I basically realized last night was, yeah, I can't really have the Protoceratops and the Stegosaurus like this. The exhibit's just too small. It would make more sense to pick one of them, make this whole area their build, and then move the other somewhere nearby. I don't really want to move either of them over to like the other side of the river because, like, I think people keep telling me to put Sarcosuchus here. And this actually wouldn't be a terrible area for Sarcosuchus, if I'm honest. That would actually probably be a pretty good area for the Sarco. So yeah, we put the whichever one we don't move, or whichever one is moving, could go somewhere around here probably. I'd have to figure it out. But I think that's going to be what we kind of need to do in the end to make this all work nicely. And then that will go there. I don't know. I think that we're onto some real good stuff here. I really do. I think we're onto some real gold. Real gold. I'd say so, at least. I think we're seeing some... I guess we're seeing what I actually want for the first... Or I'm seeing more of what I'd actually like for the first time. Because, I'll be honest, I do think there are some fantastic things in this world, but I have also been slightly demotivated because a lot of stuff in this park so far has not felt like it's really gone the way I wanted it to. Like, the last park had a lot of faults, I will fully admit that. But even exploring it now, it's like, when I've gone back and looked at it, I did a lot right with that world. There was a lot of stuff that worked out really, really well, and I kind of want to see about... I don't know, I've kind of been trying to figure out, how do I replicate that? How do I replicate the things that worked there over here? But I do think this is a good first step, at least. It's starting to look more like I would like it to. And yeah, and I mean, I know this is not a ton, but I mean, it sets up better for expanding the bug house out, and I'd like to expand the Ceratosaur exhibit out a little bit, maybe that direction, give it some more room, and then, I don't know, I think plants are another thing I need to do a lot of. I need to just, like, put trees everywhere, and bushes, and shrubs, and I need to put hedges, and all these things, to just fill it up a bit more. Make it look a little bit more interesting overall than it currently does. I should get torches. I think I'm about done building for today, but we should get some torches real quick, just so that way we can light things up. Light things up, so we don't get monster spawns all over the place, because that is not my favorite. Whew. There we go. I really like this pond. This might be one of the better ponds I've built. I like the tree. There's a lot we can do with the base as well. We could add some stuff here. I know I was planning to do that at one point. I don't remember why I stopped planning on that. But I was working on some ideas for how to make the base look better. Which I think was all sparse to be part of the episode where I built that tree in the pond. I think that was all supposed to, at least originally, be like a big episode where I just go and renovate the entire base area. That obviously didn't happen, but at least completely. But I'm rather happy with how it looks still. I mean, man, even from here, I love the look of our storage room from here. And though the lab has given me several headaches, I do think it looks kind of cool from this distance. The fact you can kind of just see it peeking up from the top of the hill. And the heights work really well, and the distance, the difference in color and texture, I think is cool. But man, that building looks nice. I like my storage room a lot. Yeah, that's the style we'll use for the, what is it called? The museum when we eventually get to it. Which I know someone asked, I think yesterday, about a museum. I do have plans for a museum. I was gonna go walk over there, but you can't really see much. It's this big outline over here. This was gonna be like the main hall, and then I was gonna build like smaller, or like some wings off on the sides here and whatnot, and then we could have this big building with all sorts of cool things in it. But I kind of postponed that for obvious reasons. And it was actually going to be, I think originally I was planning to just do it as a live stream project. Like, I'd record the videos normally, and then we'd have one big project I'd be working on the whole time, where live streams were just working on the museum. But who knows? Maybe I will do that still. Maybe that's not a bad idea, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm kind of out of juice to build right now, because it is late. But I think we've made, that was a voice crack and a half. I think we've made good progress for today. And I think really what I need to do for this area is figure out exactly where I'm ending the Dimetrodon exhibit, how I'm doing that, and then work on this area. Like, figure out how we're going to integrate all of this, where exactly the building is moving, or what sides of the building are moving, figuring out the design for this area, and the terraces and all that. And then we'll come back and either tomorrow or Saturday, we'll get a little bit more work done. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been great to have you guys here with me while I build. I hope it's been somewhat enjoyable. But yeah. If I have time, I will stream tomorrow. If I don't, the next stream will probably be Saturday, hopefully at a more reasonable hour, so it's not like super late at night. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today. So thank you all. Hope you've all enjoyed, and yeah, until next time, guys. See ya. Bye.